What is going on, everybody? Let's Talk Jets Radio. Hope you guys are all doing well, enjoying your weekends. Rainy Sunday, but we got Rangers playoff hockey game 1 starting in a little bit. Knicks game 1 tomorrow. MSG should absolutely be going nuts. Hopefully the Jets and MetLife can kind of continue those positive vibes going into football season. We all know Jet fans definitely deserve it, but loving it for the Knicks fans. They've waited a long time, as have we. But getting into some free agents that could still be fits for the Jets. Obviously, I realize, Joe Douglas, he talked with ESPN a few days ago, basically made it known that the Jets are very limited as far as what they could do right now against the cap and some of the restraints that they have with the budget. So you wonder if they could even make that, Dalvin Cook type of splash before training camp or even into training camp, or if it has to be guys that are a little bit closer to the veteran minimum. But before even getting into my free agent list here, if you guys can drop some comments and leave some feedback, I'm going to be working on some different thumbnails for all videos going forward. Trying to find one that I could use for every video going forward, just kind of a generic thumbnail. But I'm going to be doing some different concepts, some different designs. Trying to work on some photo editing skills, so any and all feedback's appreciated. If you think it looks good, let me know. If you think it looks like dog shit, nothing's taken personal in the comments, so please let me know. But getting to my free agent list here, and I initially had Odell Beckham to start. Obviously, he just signed a few days ago with the Dolphins, but still some other free agent receiver options that are available, starting with Corey Davis, who, of course, is familiar with the team, familiar with Rodgers. You wonder what led to him walking away last year. Was it personal, which seems likely? Was it just a lack of love for football? Was it anything team-related? The Jets obviously weren't going to pay him his old contract, but he has been a free agent long enough now without really a whole lot of buzz going around, where if he does end up signing for close to the veteran minimum, I would love for that as some insurance behind Mike Williams. You have Tyler Boyd. Very surprised that he didn't sign early in free agency. Effective slot receiver, bigger body, willing blocker, strong hands. Kind of felt like he fit the mold of what the Jets were looking for. Fairly young as well. You still have Hunter Renfrow also, 103 catches a few seasons ago. Last two, only 61 combined, though. I think that him and Boyd definitely provide some insurance behind Corley and Gibson if you're looking for some extra help in the slot. Donovan Smith, grew up a Jet fan, made it known in the offseason he'd be open to playing here. He has protected Mahomes and Brady for some Super Bowl winners, so you know he could do it in a big spot in big games. He's only 30 years old, likely only signs for 1 year. Also Bakhtiari, who's been talked about most of the offseason, but he's only made one start in 2 of his last 3 years. 32 years old, obvious knee issues. How much does he have left? Also the fact that you added Fashanu now, with limited resources, is that the best use of whatever money is still available, or do you put that elsewhere into a receiver, into defensive line help, possibly a safety? And also, is there any level of trust at all in guys like Max Mitchell and Carter Warren to potentially be your 4th and 5th options? So something you got to consider there. Going to the interior on the offensive line, Dalton Risner is still out there. He didn't sign until week 3 last year with the Vikings. Didn't allow a sack, only had 3 penalties. Did give up a ton of pressures, though. You wonder what the market is for him. Fairly reliable, though, in terms of his health. Played center in college, so he provides some extra versatility with Schweitzer as well. You go to safety, Justin Simmons still out there. Even with Ashton Davis and Chuck Clark coming back, the team still has to replace Jordan Whitehead. Maybe Davis is ready for that expanded role. Clark could also see a bunch of snaps. Tony Adams, he was solid last year, but I do think safety is still a need. There is a deep pool of free agents out there from Eddie Jackson, Quandre Diggs, Micah Hyde. I don't think a reunion's happening with Jamal Adams or Marcus May, but with such a deep market still out there, you would think 1 or 2 guys ultimately end up signing for closer to the veteran minimum, which could be what the Jets are waiting for. And then you go to the defensive line. Calais Campbell's still out there, 6.5 sacks last year with the Falcons. The Jets did have interest before he signed there. He has had some really big seasons with Baltimore, with Jacksonville, 6-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year, but that was 7 years ago. He's 37 years old now, but I do think defensive line could definitely use a boost and another veteran presence, somebody that's been on some winning teams. He signed for 1 year, $7 million with the Falcons last year, probably comes in a little bit cheaper this year, but considering the loss of Al Woods, Quentin Jefferson, Huff, now JFM, I think defensive line is definitely still a need and probably where the Jets look to maybe spend some of that remaining cap space. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoy the Rangers. Hope you enjoy the Knicks. Talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekends.